G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gold Coast Waves Entertainment. It gives us the greatest pleasure to introduce our interview with Mr. Tony Pantano, international superstar and the king of cabaret.
Hello, Tim.
Welcome to our show, Tony. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Tim. And you're calling from Perth, lovely Perth. I've been coming there for many, many years. I love that. I nearly lived there at one stage. That's how much I love Perth.
Wonderful, wonderful. It is a lovely city. It is a lovely city. Okay, now, if I may ask you, what first you got into music, and who inspired you?
Okay, well, we came out to Australia with my family in 1956, and all they were playing on the radio was rock and roll. And of course, it was Elvis Presley, and I got into that. But my father had a band, and he was doing weddings and receptions. And when I was about 12 years old, he pushed me out on stage. I was so shy, but I knew 3 Elvis songs, you know. And basically, that's how I started. And it wasn't. 2 years later, I joined a band. We were working at places like the Moonee Ponds Town Hall here in Melbourne, and all the pubs. We were doing Elvis and the Beatles, of course. That was early 60s. But so I was influenced by, of course, Elvis, the Beatles. Then later on, Engelbert Humperdinck, Tom Jones, Mario Lanza, Frank Sinatra, and it goes on, Dean Martin. And I do it all, which I love. I love the variety.
Wow, that's an extensive list. That's certainly a most extensive list. Yeah, and what's your creative process like, actually? Coming up with the concepts before a show.
Oh well, look, I've been doing a lot of events. Like we have theme nights. We've had Arabian night. We've had rock and roll night. We've had Latin night, and we have dances. This is it's all changing now, but I've been doing that for so many years, and that's why the following is there. And we've basically kept the variety. It's always been the cabaret work, and that also through the clubs that I've done in Sydney. I won the very first Mo Award, which was in 1975, and I happened to be in Perth when I was working at a place called La Tenda. I don't know if you remember that place, Tim.
I do remember it. I do remember the La Tenda. Yes, absolutely.
Big park, and I've been coming there since. I started at Romano's, as a matter of fact, in Perth. Romano's was 71, Showcase 70, and that started the solo career because I was in bands. I'm a bass player, and we did the nightclubs and the restaurants and anything that was going. You know, we thought there was bad times, but they were great times because there were the Queen's Road alone. There were 40 musicians booked 6 nights a week. This is how popular the bands were. Every hotel had a 4-piece band, nights a week. Everything's changed, so we've seen a big change. And now we work with, when there's a band, of course, we work there, but sometimes we have to work with the backing tracks. The Sydney clubs have still got 4 or 5-piece bands, cut right down from, that 12-piece and we used to have. So I've seen it all. It's been a long career, but I love it. I did a lot of cruises as well. I did, I did over 10 years in America.
I believe so, yes, I believe so.
Yeah, they were wonderful days. I love that. And captive audience, they were all in a good mood. And I've travelled all over the world. So I've been very, very lucky with my music. I have.
That's wonderful. May I ask you, what are your favourite and least favourite venues, actually, that you've ever performed at?
The least favourite?
Yes.
Believe it or not, the casinos can be pretty bad. The lounges, the main rooms are fine. You're a headliner, people come, they pay their money, and they see a show and they're respecting the artists. But when you work in the lounges, everybody's walking through their noisy show or no show. They're not really interested. And some pubs were like that too. But that's because there's a few drinking. Few drinks around the place.
Yeah.
So I did a few of those in Perth as well. I did the Boomerang Club and all the Boomerang Hotel and the Charles Hotel. I did a lot of work there in Perth. Yeah, but that's at least, I think it would have been not all pubs, but casinos were. I found I was 8.5 years at the Crown here in Melbourne. The Duo. And people came in, but they were walking past. Well, look, casinos, they lose money. They're in a bad mood. If they're winning, they're a great crowd.
Yep, absolutely. I can imagine that. I can imagine. Do you have any upcoming shows, Tony? Is there anything in the pipeline that you've got in mind?
Well, in Perth, believe it or not, a mate of mine, I've known since he was a young baby, to tell the truth. He's got a place called Catalano's in Vic Park. It's a restaurant, cafe restaurant.
Oh, yes, I've heard of it, yes.
And we do, when I do come up, we do these theme nights. We've had a Viva Las Vegas night, a Latin night, Italian night, and we have two girls. We use there's no room for the band because there's a bit of dance room, and so I do that. By the end of the year, hopefully we'll do that again. That's Catalano's. But this year, everything was postponed until next year, including the weddings. I was booked for a lot of weddings. May was going to be my biggest month with the, Valentine's, Mother's Day, and all those sort of weddings. They're all booked for next year, May next year, 2021. So it's been a bit of a shock, a bit of a reality actually for all of us to go through this, coronavirus. We'd never expected something like this, but there you go. We're all equal at the moment.
Yes, it certainly has taken a lot of dollars out of a lot of performers' pockets. And hopefully things will come good soon.
We hope so. I've got a couple of calls today with some shopping centres coming up in November, which is Melbourne Cup time here in Melbourne. That's where I live. And apart from that, look, if the phone rings, we take the bookings. But at the moment, we're taking it easy. I've been playing a lot of golf, Tim. I've been out playing golf, which is great.
That's wonderful. Keeping your handicap right in there. That's great.
I'm trying. We're still hackers, as they say, but I enjoy it. And the fresh air, after this last 3 months, my gosh, I started playing last week, and the sun's been perfect. Our winter's coming, of course. We're going to be nice and cold by next week. But today was gorgeous, and tomorrow's beautiful in Melbourne. We're getting the Perth weather, mate.
Well, that's fantastic. If I may ask you, Tony, in your opinion, what's your most favourite song to perform?
Wow. I get asked that question a lot. I mean, it depends on the venue again. I mean, I've always loved My Way. It seems to, it's been a song that has been around, and I performed it on Showcase 70. So, it's how many years ago? 50 years ago. I can't believe it. Showcase 70. And I was the first one to sing it in Australia. Of course, it was Frank Sinatra. Paul Anka wrote the English lyrics. It was a French song.
Yes.
I love that song, and it says a lot about independence. There's another one that I only recorded recently. That's a couple of years. It's called If I Never Sing Another Song, and it was recorded by the late Matt Monro. Shirley Bassey had a wonderful version, and I only heard it a few years ago when I was in Perth by a guy called Joe Longthorne. I don't know if you know that name, an impressionist.
Yes, I have heard it, yes.
I heard he passed away. I mean, it's awful. His entertainers that are fantastic. They were doing tribute shows. So, yeah, look, I went to the stage where I just sang Elvis songs everywhere. I loved Elvis. I still do it. People expect it. But then there's some beautiful Tom Jones numbers that I've been doing. Engelbert, Sinatra, I mean, Dean Martin, popular. But performing-wise, look, songs like That's Amore still works really well because everybody knows it. They all sing along.
Yep.
You've got to read your audience, You read the crowd.
Absolutely, and that's a really, really wide, extensive catalogue of impersonations. Gee, that's just huge. And I should imagine you'd be very, very good at accents then as well.
Slightly. Well, I was singing Italian and English. I did record a song called Tonight here in Australia, but I recorded that in France. Matter of fact, I was working at the Olympia Theatre. We're talking then 1971 with a singer called Rita Pavone. She was in Stewart, France, and I was there with Bruno Pisada from Perth, the drummer. We were only young kids. He was 19, I was 22, I think, and we were at the Olympia Theatre and supported. Look, that was an experience enough. a great experience. And recording the song, I haven't done it since in French. I've always sort of been in English. But that was a big hit for me. Yeah, big hit in Australia.
That's fantastic, and you've lived the life of your dreams, it seems. And what would be, in your choice, a theme song for your life?
A good theme song for my life.
Yeah, one that would describe it, and your success. As an entertainer of very, very long standing.
I must admit, if I never sing another song, which is, as I mentioned, I record on an album, it's all about an entertainer. That's a very special one, my way also. But, things like the Smile from Charlie Chaplin, Autumn Leaves, they're great songs. I love them all. But, variety. I think it's down to two. If I never sing another song, If Tomorrow Never Comes is another good song.
Oh yes, yeah, that's one of my favourites actually. That's truly one of my favourites, and congratulations on that one. You do it superbly well.
That was Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks recorded and wrote it, and Ronan Keating, of course, revived it, and he's had a #1 with it. But that's a beautiful number. People relate to it. They relate. Yeah.
If I may ask you, if you could change anything in the industry, because you've been in the industry, that many, decades and decades. If you could change anything in the industry, what would it be?
Bring back live bands. Let's do it all again, start all over again, because that's what was missing. As soon as it came down to two-piece or the disco or the DJs, nothing against everybody's got to work. But if you have the live bands and the four-piece band at least, it gives so much atmosphere, and I'm all for it, because I started in. As I said, in bands playing bass in Queen's Road and the Park Royal Hotels and all those. They were great years. Great. That were the learning years, really.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. Just a question out of left field here now, and I'd like to ask you, what is the most trouble you've ever gotten into at a particular venue?
There's a guy by the name of Stan Zamanik. And we were working a place in Sydney called the Rooty Hill RSL Club.
Okay.
And we were just about to go on. I got a phone call. They said, no, there's a bomb in the place.
Oh, my.
Someone that hated poor Stan. He passed away a few years ago. And so we were on lockouts, not lockout for about an hour before it was just a hoax. But, that was a bit hairy, that one. Oh, Vietnam, I forgot a bit. The worst place was, of course, I was lucky to be alive. I toured Vietnam in 1968.
Yes.
Called the Maori Ambassadors.
Oh, wow.
I passed as a Sicilian Maori.
My goodness. Wow.
Band leader, these guys were giants. And I played the rhythm guitar, and they were doing all the actions. But we were bombed at one of the venues, and I was supposed to go left. Instead of left, I went right, straight into the bunker, and this bomb hit the 6 GIs in this crater. They said it would never hit twice, but I should have been there, but I didn't. So someone was looking after me that day, mate. So that was the areas.
Well, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. And I'm glad you're still entertaining and you're still with us here. And I must say, variety is the formula to your success. That's for sure. You're an international acclaimed star, an entertainer in crest of Australia's demanding world of show business. You're winning the EMO Awards, including the Star Award. And including your first award, won in 1975 in Perth, actually, my hometown.
Yeah. The very first year, I was the dark horse of the field. I mean, I'm going to drop a couple of names here, but it started off from Don Lane, Barry Crocker, Ricky May, Doug Parkinson, John English, and I think Johnny Farnham was there as well. And I was nominated in that category. And I was in Perth working at La Tenda. We get this telegram that said, Tony, you've just won Best Male Vocals for 1975. And then it was called the Star Award.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Don Lane said, look, you've got to make it more Australiana because it's an Australian award. And they changed it to the Mo Award over Mo McCarthy, who was Roy Reen, who was a vaudeville Tivoli comedian.
Right.
And so it stayed as the Mo Award, M-O Award. And, I've got 14 of them.
My goodness, wow, that's certainly a stack. That's certainly a stack. Congratulations on that. Congratulations, Tony.
I'm still getting nominations here. And look, all we need is a nomination, just a respect from the entertainers, because there's so many that we all do there's hard work to stay, just not at the top, but just to stay in work, and especially these days. So we've got to do it all, from the weddings, engagements, to the clubs, the pubs, and thank God the voice is still there. So I'm happy, very, very lucky, very lucky. The big boss likes me.
Well, yes, no, certainly. He's not the only one that likes you. You've got a whole multitude of adoring fans out there that love you too, Tony.
God bless you, mate. Well, I hope we meet up with, as you said, we've met in Sydney, in Perth once on one of the shows, but never got to meet you in person. But we'll do that, and if we do come to Perth to do Catalana's or one of those venues, please come out there and we'll have a cappuccino.
Absolutely. No, I'm looking forward to that. Tony. And it's been wonderful talking to you today, Tony, and thank you for coming on and being interviewed for our listeners. It's been absolutely wonderful, and thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Tim. All the very best, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Ciao.
Okay.
Bye.
My darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. But time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely rivers sigh, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Time
me.